friends, my name is Kaylin and welcome back to my channel, Thriving in Fiction. Today I'm going to be going over 5 books that I DNF'd that I would like to give another chance. This video might be semi-controversial. I have some very popular books that I put down, so I do plan on picking them back up, so don't panic. But yeah, on first read, I walked away. Oof, this is gonna be unpopular. Okay. Alright, so the first book is probably one of the most touted fantasy series ever written. All 3 installments have won the Hugo Award. And I DNF'd the first book 72 pages in. But I do want to go back to it because it's so lauded and talked about as one of the giants of the modern fantasy era, an instant classic. So I feel like I need to give it another chance, and that is the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. So if you don't know, this book is told through multiple perspectives, and it's set in a world where every couple centuries the Earth shatters. It's the Broken Earth trilogy. So the civilization that inhabits this world is constantly, it's transient. So it's never built to be permanent. They know that there is a shattering in the future, so nothing is permanent. I found the world very interesting. I found the characters very interesting. The reason I put it down is because one of the perspectives is told in the second person, and I just, no matter how well it was written, I had a knee-jerk reaction to reject that. So if you don't know, the second person is, so first person is when the story is told to you through that character's point of view. So I did this, I walked in the room, I said that. Third person is she walked into the room, she said that. Second person is you walked into the room, you did this, you said that. And there's a reason not many authors use the second person. I know N.K. Jemisin is lauded as one of the foremost speculative fiction writers of the age, of this generation. So I really want to get over this hang up and give this book another try. And the second book I put down mostly because I just wasn't in the right reading mood for it at the time, and that is Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. From what I read and what I understand, this is a really unique sci-fi fantasy world with lesbian necromancers at its heart. So you're following Gideon the Ninth, who is of the 9th house, and the houses are distinguished based on the different types of necromancy that they practice. And from there, I think it becomes sort of competition / murder mystery. So I'm really interested in the jamming together of all of these different concepts and themes and genres. But I just wasn't in the mood when I picked it up. For some reason, I think I was in the mood for a high fantasy, and sci-fi necromancers just wasn't really doing it for me. So when I am in the right mood for it, I do plan on picking this back up because, like I said, it wasn't that I wasn't liking what I was reading. It was just wasn't what I was in the mood for, and I am such a mood reader. So I do plan on picking this up when I am feeling like it. And the next book I DNF'd that I do plan on picking back up is a popular sci-fi series on BookTube, and that is Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey. I first picked this up when the show was coming out a couple years ago, and I forget at what point I stopped reading it. But I do remember that I liked what I was reading. I just think it was back when I wasn't really reading a whole bunch to begin with. It wasn't anything that was lacking in the book or anything like that. It was just me and not being in the mood to read anything at all. So now that I'm reading a lot more, I do plan on going back to this and hopefully picking up the rest of the series because I do remember liking it. Like I said, I just don't think I was in the mood to read anything. So, and I don't remember anything that I read anyway. So when I do pick it up again, it's going to be like it's brand new to me. So whenever I get the chance, I will be delving into this series again. And the next book is an adult fantasy series, and I have touched a little bit on not finishing this book and putting it down at the time and why that was. And it is Malice by John Gwynne. I also have The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne, and I do plan on starting with that book because it is his newest release and It's probably his most well-written piece so far, so I do want to start with the best of the best and then maybe work my way back, knowing that if it's not quite what I was looking for, if I liked what he put out recently, knowing where his skill will go will help me get through that a little bit. But when I picked this up, it felt, I didn't get very far into it before I put it down. I was being way too nitpicky with it. It felt very much like a debut novel. Like it could have gone through maybe one more edit. As I've mentioned before, I have a little bit of background in journalism, and word economy is something that is stressed so hard. If you don't need that word, you take it out. If your sentence can stand without the word that, take that out. If somebody turned around, you don't need the around. How else do you turn? He turned. So when I was reading it, I found a lot of unnecessary words. They didn't feel like part of the author's writing style. It felt very much like it could have used one more edit. I'm sure it gets better. I want it to get better. I want to delve into it and read it because I know people that love this series, so I really want to get into it myself. So hopefully starting with where the author is at now will give me better perspective on when I pick up his older works again. And the next book I picked up a couple years ago and put down because, again, it was during that time where I wasn't reading a whole bunch and it wasn't really what I was looking for at the time. Like I said, I'm a mood reader. So between being a mood reader and not really reading a whole lot at the time, I remember I don't think it was just not jiving with me. It was very dark and almost depressing, so I remember putting it down for that reason. But I do want to go back to it because I remember it being very interesting. And I'm also just interested in this author's work in general, and that is Circe by Madeline Miller. And I've actually recently picked up The Song of Achilles by this author, and I do plan on starting there before I go back to Circe, but no matter how I feel about The Song of Achilles, I do want to pick this back up because I remember being really interested in the world and in Circe as a character, and I'm a very character-driven reader. I know that now. I don't know if I really knew my own tastes well enough back then to be able to determine that, but I remember being very interested in Circe. So now that I'm developing my taste a little bit more, I'm hoping to pick this up again soon. Alright guys, so that has been 5 books that I DNF'd in the past that I hopefully plan on picking up again in the future. Let me know in the comments below if there's any books on your TBR that you've previously tried and it just wasn't jiving with you, or what those reasons were. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, guys, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!